Lucas Murray is suing multiple women for their unflattering reviews of him on a Facebook group. Comes after a Facebook group called Are We Dating the Same Guy was created with Murray at the center of the conversation. He's suing for defamation, sex-based discrimination, and invasion of privacy. And he's taken over $2 million in damages, including pain and suffering. The women say they did nothing wrong because they posted their truth and opinions on a private group, which is protected against defamation.
You realize that your truth can be everybody else's lie. I'm sure serial killers that hunt down people and off them because they believe that they're purging the earth of demons, that's their truth. Doesn't make it ethical or legal, does it? What if his truth was that he was accusing all of these women of the exact same thing? And he said, but that was my truth. And I just put it in a Facebook group that was private with a whole bunch of other guys. You would not hear the end of it. Would it be okay? Would these women step back and say, oh, really? Yeah, you're right. Oh, silly me. My bad. No, they wouldn't. Look, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that the sexes are equal. There's clearly favoritism when it comes to women in certain spaces, and you'll know why. Because had this whole story, regardless of the guy being a moron, because he's calling people a moron, but yes, it's clear that the way he behaves, he's a jerk. Possibly. Does he deserve this? No. You're going to meet people who you don't agree with or treat you like jerks. It doesn't give you the right to be morally bankrupt and try to destroy their reputation outside of what is the truth. And the only reason I'm giving this much credence to a story like this is because I have seen women take advantage of the favoritism that they have in society with this kind of stuff over and over and over again. I have many guy friends that I've seen it happen to. I've seen it in a situation where everyone knows this person is innocent, but because the woman said something against him, based on him wanting to leave her, to leave their relationship, of which was very violent on her behalf, and everybody knew that. The neighbors all vouched from everybody. Doesn't matter, her word, not only against his, but everybody else's. Tell me in what world is that okay? And if you see this, I think there was also a story of a cop recently who won a settlement of $500,000. This trouser snake right here. She slept with her entire squadron, and the chief included. She's married, mind you. Married, and slept with all of them. And after the sex scandal blew up, I think she got suspended or fired or whatever, and I think they all did too, whatever the case is. She then comes and cries the victim, and at how old is this woman? Almost 30? And she claims she was being groomed to be exploited by these people. And she's pretending to be the victim, because she's a child. The person who's in an occupation that's supposed to be protecting us, she's a little child and she didn't know any better. Okay, so this kind of thing kind of upsets me. I know I'm making fun of it, but it's actually pretty upsetting because as a woman, our ancestors fought to have certain rights so people could not treat us like children. Women didn't have rights before, even though we are grown-ups and we're taking care of the children. We fought to have those rights given to us so we can make our own decisions. What happened to the whole movement of women being independent and self-sufficient, all of that? Now they're rolling it back to this victim mentality where, oh my God, at almost 30 years old, people take advantage of me because I made a stupid decision because I'm a slut. Now you're going to put us in a situation where obviously we are not able to make sound decisions, or when we make decisions, we can't consent to them because we're feeble and we don't know what we're doing. So then why would we have rights as adults? Don't you see what you're doing? These people are so fucking dumb. It makes me mad. You're taking advantage of something. Great, go get your money, I guess, by being completely immoral and a fucking asshole. But then you're also undoing everything that those women fought for. You're making it seem as though women are incapable of being accountable for anything. And the only other protected group that has that shield around them are minors. And then by that logic, there are a lot of things that come along with that if we want to regress and roll that whole thing back. Now, can we vote? Can we terminate our pregnancies? Can we make decisions based on our own bodies? If you can get groomed at almost 30 years old, which is those are the words that she used. One of the things she says is, while I was aspiring to protect my community, the La Verne Police Department was not protecting me. Yeah, you weren't protecting yourself either by closing your fucking legs. I wonder if this happened to her husband, and if her husband was a police officer too. I don't know what he does, but I wonder if he was a police officer and a whole bunch of of the women who were his superiors did the same thing to him, and he was like, maybe 7 of them, you know, they exploited me. If she'd be having the same energy, would she have the same energy? Or would she be like, no, you're a slut, you're disgusting, you were married, you're a grown-ass man, take some responsibility? Nope. Nope. But women are children, right? We don't know any better because we're stupid. That's essentially what this is saying. See, it says it right here. The lawsuit filed in February 2023 alleged Hall was a victim of spicy harassment while being groomed for sexual exploitation. I know I said the word and didn't say it back then. Anyway, since the investigation made national headlines, lawyers for Hall said she had been subjected to public ridicule and negative publicity has thwarted her attempts to regain employment. Megan Hall was a vulnerable and optimistic 24-year-old woman who had applied to be a police officer in the city of La Verne. Where Miss Hall sought role models at her new job, she instead found predators. Look, I'm not even going to get into all of this, but I'm very open about this. As someone who has actually been a victim of predators throughout my childhood, this kind of shit makes me sick. I was an actual child. If I made a mistake, or if I dated someone that was a piece of shit and I slept with them, or I fell in love with someone and was stupid and thought they felt the same way and then they end up leaving me, I don't blame them, I blame myself. Was the person an asshole? Yeah. Was I dumb? Yeah. That's what happens when you become an adult. You give consent. I'm not saying in every case. There are cases where obviously people hold you down and do things. That's not your fault. But she did not have that same energy. When this first came out, she was eerily silent with her dumbass face. Why didn't they were grooming me? Like, this is that white woman shit. Sorry. I'm not even in a sound mind to discuss this right now because then it makes all of us look bad. It makes, oh, look at this dude's face. He's like, are you serious right now, bro? And you know, men, you should know better. I don't know if any of these police officers are married as well. I assume that at least one other police officer here is married. Shame on all of you. Shame on all of you. But she is the worst out of all of them because she's the only one not being held accountable for her actions. And that's when you get situations like this.
He's trying to serve 50 plus women.
He cold. And it's not like they're on a group just saying that he's not a great date. They're on there saying that he lied about being an attorney, he tried to extort money, has sexually transmitted diseases, and is a murderer.
I beg your pardon?
Now, he did release a statement. He said, for years, key defendants obsessively tracked, stalked, and incited harassment against me. These are women with whom I had little to no interaction. In every case of interaction, I rejected each one and cut them off quite swiftly. Instead of going their separate ways, they went on for months and years to spread misinformation about me and countless others. Their actions were deliberate, and now they're playing the victims. He's not wrong about them playing the victims. These women are now going on a press run, trying to make people feel sorry for him and make out he's a big bad monster.
And look at the language that they use. As Rock already filled in some of that, but look at some of the language that they use as well. It's kind of disgusting. And you can read people's body language and notice what they're doing. Because women do this to other women as well. If they don't like you or you're a threat to them or whatever the case is, and they have more pull, even if they don't, all they gotta do is start a rumor, them and their friends. Ugh. She has AIDS. Oh, she sucked every guy in the school. And depending on whether or not they are very influential depends, you know, on how far and wide this spreads. Like, everyone in school knows exactly what that's about. And I know because they try to do it to me. And anytime someone gets butthurt over something or there's a threat, they will try to disenfranchise you. It's really disgusting. At least I have more respect for dudes that way because when they have a problem, they will go straight to the source and fuck you up or talk to you or argue or whatever the case is, which usually leads to fighting. And then they get over it. Women, they're more sinister. That's the language that most of them usually use. They do insults. Like, even if you're having a debate with them, I mean, guys do this too. But I found, based on my experience, it's more inherently with women. They'll go straight to that. They'll smile in your face and grill you up and down and make you feel like shit on the sidewalk. Because you dare to challenge or oppose them. And it's disgusting. Because had someone been doing this to a woman on the Facebook group, the energy would have been completely different. And it shouldn't be acceptable either way.
In my opinion, pretty smug and very arrogant. The entire date, he was putting me down for various things, my job included. I feel not just for myself, but for my co-defendants and for the other women that he's gone after. This is not his first lawsuit. It's not his...
Okay, he was an asshole to you and was putting you down. And You let this disgusting man that you claim was so much of an asshole have this much power over you that after the date you were still going around and talking with your friends or random other women about it. I hope that they're okay with dudes doing the same thing with women. You know how many guys probably went on a date with you and did not like their experience? Imagine them all in a Facebook group right now talking about how disgusting you are. What if it's not even true? What if they just make up shit about you? You do realize that there's human beings out there like that, right? And that is a case for defamation, because someone can look at this. Now you may put a target on your back. I'm not saying this is okay. People shouldn't do this. But if you start that fire first, I don't really care if someone throws back the lava in your face. But imagine dudes having gone on Tinder or whatever dating site you were using and they didn't like you or just don't even know you. They can just go on a Facebook website and say, she has genital herpes. Or she's disgusting. She shit on my bed and ate it. And there's no proof. Everyone's just like, ew, she's disgusting. And they just believe it. And they start spreading that like wildfire. Because here's the thing. The Facebook group doesn't have an NDA, does it? So anybody that joins the Facebook group, they can take that information outside of the Facebook group and put it elsewhere or tell other people. So did you all not consider that? Really? It gets even better. It's just ridiculous. This mentality that, oh, if someone's actually coming after us, how dare he? We're doing everything to destroy his reputation, even though he's an asshole, but you were trying to thoroughly destroy his reputation. Someone acting like a jerk to you does not warrant you going after their livelihood and destroying their reputation overall by lying on them. Now, I'm not saying that everything they said here was absolutely a lie or absolutely the truth, but I have seen women do this shit. And the thing is, the reason why I say women specifically is because women are the only protected group there. If a guy does the same thing, internet comes after them. Woman does it? Yes, queen. Go get him. Yeah. I've seen it shit on TikTok too, where a girl did the same thing to a guy, lied about him having AIDS and fabricated the messages and correspondence. Come to find out, she admitted it was all a lie because he had rejected her or something. It to come out, and with his test results and stuff, she doxed him. Like, it got really bad. Ruined this guy. I don't know if I think he got fired too because people find out who he was. And she's like, yeah, he's going around spreading the AIDS to everyone. And this is what he wrote to me. Come to find out, it was all a freaking lie. She was salty. Do you know how disgusting that shit is? And even after the guy came out with proof, people were still going in on him because a snowball had burgeoned to such a degree that there was no stopping it now. And you imagine that 90% of the people who have seen this story believe the woman. They don't believe the dude, even when he comes out with proof. Even the women who've seen the proof, they're like, well, I don't believe him. The same thing with Amber and Johnny Depp too. People are still out here saying Amber's a freaking saint after the stuff she admitted to on recording that she did to her husband. Shit is wild. I'm so embarrassed sometimes to be a woman. Like, I'm really embarrassed. Like, in these times, I'm so embarrassed. I don't know what the hell happened in the last 6 years, but Jesus Christ.
His second lawsuit, it's not his fifth lawsuit. He has a pattern, and it seems to me that that pattern is most often directed towards women.
Everything I said was just my experience with him and my opinions on how I think, he should not be on dating sites. He's basically suing us for $2.6 million in damages. It's very bizarre. The accusations, they're baseless.
I felt like I was being punked, honestly, just by the things that were coming out of his mouth. I want to emphasize, I had never had a date like this.
He seemed
Oh, you poor thing, how entitled. I've never had a date like this. No one's ever made me feel bad about myself. No one's ever treated me meanly. I should be treated like the Queen Anne Boleyn that I am. Oh, damn me, how dare he? What the fuck, bitch? Get out of here, bro. Someone was mean to you, and so you try to destroy his reputation by lying on him and speaking about him in a Facebook group and telling all girls to stay away from him. Like, I think that if you're a grown-ass woman, you can make that decision on your own. If someone is acting like that with me on a date, I would just be like, okay, I'm gonna go. That's a mature, classy thing to do. You know what I wouldn't do? Go on the internet with a group of other crows and be like, oh my god, guess what happened? This one guy, he was so mean to me. Oh my god, that guy, I dated him too. He was mean to me too. Oh my god, he said awful things to us. People are jerks, aren't they? Like, that would not be my thing. My shit would be to move on. Like, that guy was a jerk. All right, put on my big girl panties and let's keep living. Keep living life like an adult. Someone's mean to you and you decide this is where you go. And then when they cut back now, it's national news. Really, bitch? Really? These women obviously have never been told no or had anyone treat them mean in their entire life. And so God forbid someone is actually mean to them and an asshole. Oh, let's just set fire to his whole life. Like, it's just ridiculous. It's kind of like if you went on the street and you had an altercation with someone, or you just, whatever the case is, you're an asshole. You said, you know what? That's why your hair extensions look like a rat ass. And this woman doxes you or tells her whole group, yeah, you know, this woman over here, you know, she eats babies and all these things, the worst things you can come up with to sensationalize the story that you already have just so you can gotcha. It makes you feel better about yourself that you're getting some kind of revenge by ruining his reputation, right?
Very arrogant, smug, like sitting on a high horse. He did try to get me to leave with him, to go back to his apartment or his place. To which I did not. I refused to leave with
Kind of funny she says that he's smugging on a high horse, but that is exactly the energy I'm getting from her.
him.
How is this guy still allowed to be on dating apps harassing women?
Vanessa says their first communication was anything but routine.
Wait, can they not block people on dating sites? I legitimately don't know. So I'm assuming that just like every other platform has the ability to block someone, the dating sites do too. So we need a little bit more information. Is he making multiple accounts and harassing the same people? Or is he just reaching out to people and disparaging them and then you block them and move on? Or does he trick you and take you out on a date and is like, you know what, you're an asshole. I just don't like you. Look at what you're wearing. Ugh. And you're like, okay, I'm not sleeping with you or doing whatever it is you sought out to do past that date, and you move on with your life. And then he stalks you at your house. Like, I mean, we need a little bit more information than just hearsay here. And I know people are going to be like, well, he's also saying that he didn't say those things. No. Burden of proof. If you are making a statement, if you are saying something is true, the burden of proof is on you. It is your job, if you're saying something, to prove what you're saying is true. If I say to you that there's a little girl in the hole somewhere in the forest, okay, that's probably a really bad example, but I would expect the next question from whoever hears that is, show me so we can help her. Well, I don't know. I just know she is. Okay, give us a little bit more info. What forest? What part of the forest? You can't give us any proof whatsoever of this? Not whatsoever. Anything. It's just ridiculous. If you're saying somebody speaks to me and they show up in my room and they rip off my covers and they like to bite my thighs and suck my kneecaps at night. People are going to usually want the evidence of what you're saying. That's usually what's supposed to be happening. Innocent till proven guilty, right? And you go to their house and there's nothing happening. But it did happen. I swear. Where are the bite marks? And how do we know you didn't do them? But I didn't. I swear to God. Like, people, they shouldn't have to believe you, right? And if you then say it's the neighbor next door, he's the one doing it. I know he's the one doing it. If that were the case and the world really ran like that, you know how many innocent people go to jail? We have a family member, my mother-in-law, and she has dementia. And in her mind, she legitimately believes that things are happening to her that are not happening to her. Can you imagine if people just went off of what she was saying? If she's like, the person at the front desk of my apartment is trying to kill me. She brought a whole bunch of gunmen in. Like, she legitimately thinks these things are happening. So she's innocent in this case because she has an actual problem. But anybody could just come out and say that and you just believe them without evidence? That's fucking insane.
He took issue with her having a male friend in one of her profile photos, and in a message called her a moron.
And at that point, my stomach dropped.
Go get him, girls. Fox
Go get him, girls. Shut.
Go get him, girls. You don't know if anything that's been said is true. Let me show you how easy it is. People are insanely stupid to a degree that it makes me nauseous. Let me show you how scary. I'm not saying that what they showed, and even the correspondence that they showed, all it proves is he's an asshole. If it's true. You know why press X for doubt? So on the internet here, you can see a whole bunch of sites. Fake text message, make fake text conversation, fake chat maker, AI text generator, phone gags, fake test. There's a million different websites for this. Let's go into this one. I know a lot of people out there are troglodytes, so they have no idea stuff like this. You can change the name. Let's just say Lyle. Message, make it blue, green, you know. You can even change the battery percentage on this shit. You can show the percentage or not. You can show the battery or not. Hey, boo. Add a text message. What's up? Add a text message. Well, fuck you too, asshole. You're fighting with myself. You wish you could. Boop. Do you see how easy it is? And this is just for text messages. I can make a whole ass conversation, and then you can take this in Photoshop and change it and add things. Like, it is super, super easy. You can even change the freaking signal strength. You can change the network, airplane mode. You can show the Bluetooth, message area. Let's see, text message. I mean, this shit is crazy. This shit is crazy. It is so easy for you to just be like, to just make up things. Make up pictures too and stuff. And this is just one website. This was one of the older ones. You know, when people were doing the horror story text message stuff, which are so stupid. This is how easy it is. And if you can do this with text messages, you can do it with anything. There's another website I went to where they have the Instagram, they have Facebook, like Snapchat, every other platform that you can think of. They have the ability to have text generators. So you could take someone's picture and make it look as though you're actually talking to that person, or a conversation with you and that person actually happened. But it didn't. It is so easy.
These two women are terrified they're going to be sued, so they're doing everything they can to make out he's a terrible man that treats women really badly, and they're the brave women standing up to him.
It's unfortunate that we do have to come to the media to get enough traction, but we are still without legal representation at this time. So that is something we felt was necessary in order to gain traction behind our story.
Our story? You mean your truth? What, out of all the freaking women that are in that group, not one of you is a goddamn lawyer?
Been representing ourselves this entire time.
These women have got no money, no lawyers, and now shit's got real and they're getting desperate. For that reason, I don't really believe anything that's coming out of their mouths.
It's impacted us in quite a few ways. Obviously, we're here. We have to take time out of our own lives to deal with it.
Oh, bitch, shut up. I'm sorry. I can't take much more of this shit. I'm sorry. I don't have the patience for this. Oh my God. You know how many men were mean to me throughout my life? You know how many of them live rent-free in my head right now? None. None. People are mean to you. Get over it. Jesus, what part of the inside of your flesh curtains made you feel as though you smell immaculate, that nobody should ever be mean to you or say a mean word against you? You were going on a site where a lot of low self-esteem people who are desperate are going. I'm not saying that you're desperate, but I mean, you know, people want to go on there for a quick thing. What on God's name made you think that the people you were going to interact with on these sites or these apps were gentlemen? Most of them are not. Like, it's very rare that someone goes on Tinder or dating sites or gets a date with some random person and they turn out to be some gentleman that you end up marrying and being whisked away with. No, you're on there to fuck. Let's just be honest. So do you really expect people to respect you? That is like the last place I would expect someone to respect me. I mean, basic respect. Like, hey, don't touch me without me asking. Don't kidnap me and stuff me in the back of your car and take me to a warehouse. I mean, those are certain common sense things that you could understand are definitely against human rights. But someone being mean to me, or, you know, telling me, wow, that clothes that you got on, it's too tight. Like, your breasts, your cleavage makes you look like a slut. Okay. And a regular human woman adult would say, have a good evening, but I don't think this is working. I'm not going to sit there fighting with him. I'm not going to be all shocked with my mouth agape, clutching my tits. I'm going to just leave. And what you definitely don't do, if you're smart, make sure that if you're meeting someone on a date, that you don't have them pick you up if you don't know who this person is, because they could pick you up and kidnap you and carry you someone and chop off your feet. So I would expect that people would meet each other in a car unless it's someone you absolutely know. And then you can't even be sure about that because you could be, you know, living next to a serial killer and not realize it. But yeah, do the adult thing. Move on. All this serves to do is make these women look very desperate and entitled and sad, and like they have the biggest amount of self-esteem issues. Like, now we know why you're on those sites. And now you've just made you've just ruined your own reputation, because now every dude is going to see this. You're going to want to go back on those dating sites. This is how short-sighted these people are. You're going to want to go back on those sites, right? And now your faces are all over the media, so everyone knows to avoid you. Or you've made yourself a target for people to troll you even harder. Really. Women like this need to stop representing. That's why I speak up about stuff like that, because I don't want people like this representing me. This is not what represents the female end of the species. And then you have these stupid-ass, dumbass red pill people that have just hijacked the red pill movement, which was initially something supposed to embolden men to be able to speak about actual issues, and now they're just women-hating people. And what doesn't help are people like this. This is exactly the fuel that you're giving for their fire. And then people like us who are actually normal, we catch the flack for it.